Okay, so today's notes is going to be about increase, decrease, and constant. And we are going to use colored pencils again, so if you want to follow along with me. So before we begin, let's remember the definition for increase, decrease, and constant. So looking at those notes we took earlier about the vocabulary, increase, decrease, and constant all look at the x-axis. Increase is going up, decrease is going down, constant is when the graph is flat. When the function's flat. And again, we read this all from left to right. And so increase, decrease, and constants are like taking little pieces of the domain that you're writing out. And for all three of these, we're just going to do interval notation. You can do inequality, you know how to do it, but we're just going to stick with interval notation. All right, so first we're going to deal with the domain and the range. Then when I write the domain as an inequality, when we talk about the range, when we write the inequality, we're going to have squiggly. Increase I'm going to do in green. And remember, increases look at x that go up. Okay, so let's just look at our graph here. Well, when I read from left to right, this line here is an increase. It is going up. All right, so it starts going up here at -10. So I have bracket -10 because there was a closed dot. Okay, it ends going up right here at -2. This is a part of the line, so I'm going to have -2 closed bracket. This first piece was an increase. This next piece is flat. So flat is constants, and it picks up where the increase left off, right? So it starts here at -2 as well, right? So I'm going to have a bracket -2, right? And it goes all the way until right here at 4, and that 4 is part of a line as well. Then our final piece, as we end at this constant, we're going down, so that's a decrease. So it starts where the constant left off, so we are starting at that 4, and then, with a line, and then we end right here at 9 with an open dot. All right, so in this example, I have the domain and range already filled out. Our domain starts on the left side with the -9 and an open dot, so that's what this and this inequality is, so this interval and this inequality. And then it ends at the right side with a closed dot at 8, so that's how we have 8 with a bracket, and then a mouth with a line for the 8 for the inequality. The range at the bottom, we have a -5 as part of the line, so that's why we have a square bracket, -5 and a -5 with a mouth with a line. And then at the top here, we have an 8 with a closed dot, so that's how we have the 8 with the square bracket, and the line with the mouth for the 8 on the inequality. So now we have to figure out increase, decrease, and constant. So this time, let's go from left to right, figuring out what pieces increase, decrease, and constant. Starting at the left here, this is going up, so this is going to be an increase. And we're just going to label them. This piece is going down, so this is a decrease. Then we have a line that goes up, so now we have another increase. This ends at a flat line, so this is going to be a constant. And then we start to go up again, so this is going to be a increase. All right, so now that we've labeled everything, let's go through and write out the notation. So here, this line starts at -9 with an open dot, and then it ends here at -7, part of the line. All right, so our next piece picks up where that left off, so it's a decrease, so this picks up at -7 with the line. See how they match up? So again, increase, decrease, and constant are little pieces of the domain, so it all should end up flowing together. So this decrease ends over here at -3, and that's part of the line, closed bracket. Our next piece we have is an increase, so it picks up at that -3 with the line, closed bracket, and it goes all the way up until here, and that x value is a 1. and that 1 is part of the line, right? After this increase, we have a constant. So this constant picks up where that increase left off. So we have a 1 with a square bracket, and this constant ends right here at 5, and that's part of the line square bracket. Our last piece we have is an increase. So it picks up where that constant left off. So we have, where's increase? 5 square bracket, and this increase ends at the very last right side at 8 square bracket. So this last one, I want you to kind of try each piece on your own. So first, let's write out the domain and the range. Okay, so here's the domain and range. Now let's go through each piece, and let's just label what's an increase, a decrease, and a constant. From left to right in order, we first have an increase, then we have a decrease, then we have a constant, then we have another decrease, then we have an increase, and then we have a constant. All right. Now let's go through, and I want you to write out all of the increases that are happening. So I want you to write out all the increases. All right, so the increases, this one goes from -9 to -7, both closed brackets. This one goes from 3 to 6, also both closed brackets because they're part of the line. Now let's look at decrease. So decrease is the ones that go down. The decreases, this first one starts at -7 and goes until -3. Both are part of the line, so square brackets. The second piece starts at 1, goes to 3, also again, both square brackets. Now let's write out any constants we have. So again, constants is when we see flat graphs. Okay, so this constant, the first one, starts at that -3 and goes until 1, both square brackets, part of the line. This is why we have a 6 with a square bracket, because it was part of the line. Then we have the infinity with a round bracket, because infinities always use round brackets.